Hi-ho, I'm heading out to the wool shop. I'm going to work. I am wearing I had a little wardrobe crisis. Do you have those? Oh, goodness. And so I'm wearing this is a really, really old cardi. It looks like it's wool, but it's actually just a blend. It's from Princess Highway, one of those places. And I'm also wearing, if I can show you, if you can see, I'm wearing a tweed skirt with it, which is kind of cute, and my brogues and a pair of rusty coloured tights. So I finally got it together. I started off in jeans. I thought, I don't know, it just felt too... I am a child of the 60s, you know, like we were raised to that there's certain places where you can wear jeans and there's certain and there are places where you can't, and work is one of them, unless you're working from home or you're working in a jean shop. But yeah, so I've got my skirt on, I've got my little keeper cup. These are great, these this brand Fresco. Seriously, you can even put them upside down in your bag and they won't leak, and they just hold the heat forever. Like I get 1 cup of tea on the way to work, or usually I make one, but I've run out of milk and tea. God. So I'm getting a takeaway on the way, and that will last me like 3 hours in the shop. Just sipping on it. Like it just stays hot the whole time. These are great. I'm not affiliated, by the way. So that's what I'm doing. So and I've been thinking a lot about the YouTube channel. That's another reason why I'm making this little video, because I am noticing that most of you, or vast majority of you, are saying that you want videos that are just day to day, you know, all the things. So, and they're for me the most fun to make as well. So let's see how we go. Also wearing these really gorgeous brogues, which I love these brogues. I don't wear them very often because I'm just so addicted to wearing boots, but I do love wearing my brogues. So I'm dressed like Queen Elizabeth, ready to go out onto the moors. But here I am selling wool, and also really cute little bells. I've been hanging them around the shop in various strategic positions just to distract people. Who's that in that strange boat? Hello. You look very snuggly in there, mister. here we are again. I know. I have this little book here. So it's Friday afternoon, early Friday afternoon, and it's a public holiday here today, only in our state of Victoria. It's a public holiday for, would you believe it, it's the grand final. It's the eve of the football grand final, so everybody has to have the day off so they can go to all the celebrations and whatnot. So it just makes me laugh. So yeah, so himself is off as well, or he's always off on Fridays anyway. So, but we decided to go out for breakfast, and we went to the nearest town to us, which is Castlemaine. Half the cafes were closed, and the other half of the cafes were chockers, like bursting at the seams. So we came back and we actually went out to breakfast here, and it was delightful. And you know what? I saw in the cafe, so we went to the cafe, there's one on this video where it's all blue, you know, it's kind of the posh cafe in town. And there was this woman in there, and I couldn't stop looking at her. Like, she just kept catching my eye. And then when she left the cafe, I said to David, that was Madge out of Neighbours. He didn't know what I was talking about. But I got my phone and I Googled, you know, Madge from Neighbours, and it had to have been her. She's quite elderly now, but I'm sure it was her. The phone said that she lives in the UK and Ireland, but I'm sure it was her. So anyway, it was kind of funny. It may not have been her, but my imagination perhaps. But gosh, it looked like her, and the age looked similar, you know. So you know how you just see a face and you know it's out of context, and you know you've seen it somewhere before, but it doesn't feel like it's in your ordinary life, you know. So anyway, so that was kind of funny. So we've been out for breakfast, and we've done a few little things, and I dropped into the wool shop to see how things were going in there, and things were going well. And I bought some flowers, which was lovely, and that's about it. And this morning I actually was writing more ideas for this YouTube channel. So I've sat down here with basically nothing to say, except that I'm just loving making these videos, and I think part of that is the storyteller in me, and I just love to grab bits and pieces from, you know, my world, and then stitch them together and make them cohesive and make them into a story with kind of like a beginning, a middle and an end. Just something about structuring stories really, the creative in me just really enjoys it. And I also said to one of the subscribers the other day, hi Nikki, if you're there, I said I think that part of YouTube, why I love YouTube as well, is because it satisfies the actor in me. So I've always, you know, as a kid I loved drama, and then when I went to uni I studied Shakespeare and stuff like that, but I've never had the wherewithal to be an actor. I'm just not, you know, I'm not physically and emotionally and mentally strong enough to be an actor. I'm too sensitive. But I am. I'm a highly sensitive person, and that I would last about a week and I'd crumble. You know, be Hollywood 7. Remember that song? You know, when your dreams go up in smoke. So yeah, but there's still that part of me that loves to perform, and so I think the storyteller, the performer, it all sort of comes together in the YouTube channel. And if you're a creative and you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, then I would strongly advise it. If you're drawn to this kind of thing, then have a go, because it's a lot of fun. I watched a video this morning while I was getting dressed. It was a young woman from America who I followed a little bit, and she is a YouTube sort of star, and she coaches people that are creating YouTube channels, and she gives them lots of advice and guides them. So for when you're trying to monetize your channel and stuff like that, which I would love to do eventually. And so I'm really interested in all that side of it. But it was a really interesting video, because she had suddenly come to the conclusion after a couple of years that she probably didn't need to script her videos. And it was really interesting to see how she had to come to that realization herself and experience what it was like to actually stray from who she is as a person into a character on YouTube who had to have everything scripted. And I think that I had a few thoughts around that, because I feel like it could be a cultural thing too, because I see a lot of the US channels are they're very heavily scripted and edited. You know, there's no space for a pause, there's no space for a mistake. There's this drive towards perfection, and I wonder if that's a cultural thing coming from a society who have thrived in television for so long, and it's sort of like perhaps part of historically this desire to do everything, you know, to present everything perfectly is still kind of, we're still working through that, especially those from the US. So I don't know, that's just a random theory, but you know, you're on this channel, so random theories will be what you get. But it did make me realize that, you know, if anyone ever said to me, you're going to have to script all your shows from now on, I would just go to the corner and cry. I just couldn't do it, because I like to think that that this channel, even though it's structured, even though it's storytelling, even though it's a you know, it's a construct, I still want it to feel authentic as much as I can, and I still want it to feel like you've just come round to my house and we're having a chat. And whatever subjects come up today that we share a passion for and an interest in, they will be the subjects that sort of evolve. And so I think that's part of, you know, just being authentic. And so that's what, you know, that's what's going to happen here. You know, before I came in here to put this camera on this afternoon, I thought, oh, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. Maybe I need to make some art and film that. And then I thought, but that's not what you're doing. You're actually doing nothing. You know, you've been out, you've done the grocery shopping, you've had breakfast, you've run, you know, seen friends, you've gossiped, and all that sort of stuff. And now you're just going to come home and make a YouTube video. And that's actually enough. You know, that's enough just to come on here and say hello and then go inside and edit it all and put it all together. Because that is part of my goal in my little book that I was writing in this week. Part of my goal is to upload every Friday. So I'm getting much clearer now on how the channel's going to work. I'm getting a stronger sense of you guys and what you want, and also what I want to produce as well. And they're not scripted, they're not going to be highly polished, they're not going to be single-minded, they're not going to be, you know, 100% instructive or tutorials, none of that sort of stuff. But around that, I do want to have a regular schedule, and I want to be able to upload every Friday. So it's Friday, so I need to finish this video. I can't let myself down on the first day of committing to my new schedule, and I want to finish this video now and pop it all together and upload it so that I can stick to my schedule. So consistency is always one of the hugest things, isn't it? With any creative pursuit, and I see this very much as a creative pursuit, with any creative pursuit, we need to be consistent, and we need to find ways to make ourselves be consistent. Some of us respond to to-do lists. Some of us respond to being more spontaneous and just sort of holding it all in your head. That can work. You know, that can be people get stuff done. I do a lot of stuff now as I've got older. I do a lot of my stuff intuitively. I'm not as tied to lists as I used to be. And of course that's probably to do with I don't have as much in my head. You know, when you're not looking after children and running here, there and everywhere, there's perhaps not as much going on. But anyway, that's another topic altogether, isn't it? So So yeah, so I've written a few ideas for other videos that I'd like to do, other things that I'd like to talk to you about, and so it's all sort of slowly coming together. So I hope you're enjoying this journey of discovery with me. I want you to feel like you're part of it and that your comments are very important to me, and they really contribute to how I'm putting this all together. So I want you to feel part of the journey, and I hope that you enjoy coming along with me and watching it develop and watching it blossom and watching it hopefully grow. So yeah, I think that's about all I want to say now, except just to wish you a very happy wherever you are, whatever day it is that you're watching this on. I hope that everything is going along nicely for you, and I will see you back here on Friday. Isn't that cool? I still don't have an outro. I have to write myself an outro. I don't know if I need a tagline, but I need an outro, don't I? All right, I'll see you later. Bye for now. Oh, and thanks for liking and subscribing if that's what you do, because super, super helpful. Thank you. See ya.